Hello fellow old schoolers. Now we just saw the previous match from the top 8 from another table than this, where Skies in a convincing manner was advancing into the finals. And this match we're going to follow here, it's going to be decided who is going to meet Skies in that final. So this is the other semi-final of the top 8, this time between robots coming up against Counterburn. So a classical matchup and some classical tier 1 tournament brews here going head to head. As usual, let's take a few minutes to go over the variants here and how the decks are set up. First up, we have robots, and we saw that in a previous match where he won against Trollbucks. He has, well, robots is usually a very mid-rangey kind of deck. This time it has 4 Sushis and 3 Triskelions to win. But this variant also has 4 counter spells and a mana drain, so it's very much control-ish. Also a recall to reuse all the restricted cards. And a heck of a lot of removal in this variant. 4 Swords to Plowshares, 2 Abyss main deck, and a balance obviously. And he also has a City in a Bottle main deck that might come in handy against Counterburn, against the 70 Befreaks, and especially if Counterburn also plays with Flying Men. We shall see once we go over his deck picture. And we also have 3 copy artifacts to copy the Triskelions, Sushis, and yeah, there's even a couple of icy manipulators like I use in my own robot deck. This is a very versatile card, but will actually make this deck's ability to shut down creature-based decks even more pronounced, because you'll have 2 Abyss, 4 Swords to Plowshares, and 2 Ices along with the creatures. It's going to be very hard for a creature deck to push through here. In his sideboard, he even has a couple of deserts against aggro. I don't know if it will come in here. It will tend to rely on if the other guy has Flying Men, but usually you just take the other City in a Bottle in here. Main deck City in a Bottle will be kind of brutal here, along with all the removal. So yeah, it is a strong brew, this one. Very clunky and slow in the beginning, but once it gets the snowball rolling, it'll produce a lot of robots and copy them with copy artifacts and provide a bunch of pressure, controlling the board state in the creature department with all that removal and the icy manipulators. And the ices will also be able to tap down Mazes of Ith, and if needs be he can take in an Armageddon from the sideboard, kind of like Skynet, my own brew, just to get rid of all the mazes. This deck is fully powered, and the core is blue and white with a splash of black for Demonic Tutor, Mind Twist, and those aforementioned Abyss. At the top of the sideboard we also have Animate Debts to put in. I'm not sure they'll get in here because there aren't that much removal out of Counterburn. But let's check out his opponent here. This is the variant of Counterburn that's made it towards the semifinals here. 4 70 Befreaks, nice altars on those, and we also have 3 Blood Moons main deck along with the Black Wise. I bet that has likely wrecked a lot of decks on his way here. But I'm not so sure in this matchup because it is against robots, and robots has a lot of colorless requirements. So he might be able to, robots might be able to circumvent the Blood Moons. But a crucial thing here is he plays with 3 Shatters main deck. This is a bit much for UR Counterburn deck, but it will come in handy here, and I bet he's doing that because of all the robots and against the deck and stuff like that. This deck has opted out of the Flying Men, so a bit more light on the creatures. Instead, he has a full burn package here with 4 Chain Lightnings, 4 Lightning Bolts, and 4 Sonic Blasts, so a lot of pressure through that. We have the counter spells as well, and the mana drain, and this variant of UR Counterburn splashes into black for Mind Twist and Demonic Tutor. You can't do that, both variants, the clean blue and red and the one where you splash black into it, are both tier 1 decks. In general, for this matchup, I regard this as a rock, paper, scissor setup. Usually UR Counterburn will have an excellent matchup against the deck, but will tend to struggle against mid-range because it has difficulties removing stuff with toughness above 3. It does have the Sonic Blast, and in this case a Shatter, so it might not be so pronounced in this one, because he has so many answers against 4 in toughness creatures and against artifact creatures, but usually you would tend to see robots as the favorite in the first match. Then after sideboard, it will tend to to equalize a bit, because Counterburn can take in Energy Fluxen, and they tend to wreck robots. It's a very, very strong answer against the robot decks, so he'll likely take out his Blood Moons and put in Energy Fluxen against him. So yeah, if robot doesn't win the first match, he will be in trouble. I think my predictions will be robot will be the favorite before sideboard, and after that all bets are off. We might see a comeback for Counterburn, but who knows? Sometimes Counterburn is it's possible for him just to burn the other guy out so quick, with so much destruction here and so many direct damage spells. Classical matchup, this one. Counterburn will have a smaller mana curve and will tend to be the active player, and robots, especially in this control variant we see here, will tend to try to survive the early game and then get enough mana to get the robots out and then start to mass produce them. So in the first match, as said, Counterburn will have his work cut out for him, but he will be helped by those 3 Shatters main deck and 4 Sonic Blasts main deck. It is really nice that his and a bit unorthodox for Counterburn, but it does provide him better game against the mid-range and the robot archetype. So without further ado, let's get into this semi-final match. So let's kick off here. Robots on the left and Counterburn on the right. Round 1 of this semi-final match. Who will go into the finals against Skies? Okay, Counterburn mulliganing here. We'll cut a bit forward while he shuffles through that deck of his, but it will make him go down to 6 cards. A bit of a bad start for him, especially as mentioned in this early first game, where robots will be the favorite. We see his hand here: Factory, Island, Tundra, Sushi, as a Mox. And we also had a Mistros Workshop on the starting hand and a Recall. The Recall can't be used for much, but that Workshop in conjunction with the Mox will make it possible for him to get a Sushi turn 1 here, provide a lot of pressure early on for Counterburn to handle. That will be brutal, because we shall see. Let's see Counterburn hand here. Only a bad lane. We have 2 Chain Lightnings, 2 Lightning Bolts, and a Sonic Blast. Just a bunch of burn, but only a single land. He can't make that happen, because he has such a low mana curve, but it is a risk. Yeah, there we see it. Turn 1 Sushi here. Workshop into a Mox. Oh, he drew into a library here. Good for him. And he was on the draw, so he will be able to use that library next turn. I'll have to read frantically, because the Sushi will provide so much pressure here. Factory coming out of robots here. Additional pressure. Now he's within draw range. Counterburn drawing with that library. He needs to shatter pretty fast here, but he can't play it. He only has that bad lanes, no Moxen for now. So there will be a Sushi again. I don't think he should attack with the Factory, but obviously I know he has Lightning Bolts, the other guy, but still, if he knows what he's against as an untapped bad lanes and a full hand and an active library, probably shouldn't use your Factory for that. But he might want to do that because he wants to draw bolts, maybe, so he can't remove the Sushi so easily. There's the bolt. Okay, so he attacked with the Factory. He got wrecked. Putting Counterburn down to 6 cards, he draw into 7 cards here, drawing again with the library. Okay, he needs to handle that Sushi now before we have a double blue mana out of robots, because then he'll be able to counter. If he has a red mana, he can cast 2 Chain Lightnings on it. I think that's viable. He should do that in any case, because he's down to 12 points of life. Unless he has a Shatter, that will obviously be better. But even though it's a 2-for-1, he can use that library to, get his cards back, even though it is slightly expensive to get rid of that Sushi that way. We know he has 2 Chain Lightnings in hand. I think he should play it here before there's a double blue mana. Come on. It's okay. Otherwise, I think robots will have this game in a bag. Obviously, I don't know. Just a hunch. Okay, it's really deliberating this. Okay, I think... No. Well, we know he has two chain lightnings and a lightning bolt, so 2 chain lightnings should be... Yeah, okay, here we go. Cracking down on the sushi. We don't have blue blast before sideboard here, so it is safe to do. Getting rid of the sushi. Okay, now Robots really needs to kick into overdrive here. He needs to overwhelm Counterburn before that library becomes too much. The card advantage becomes too much. And the workshop will help him. There's a double blue mana. Good thing the other guy made a double chain lightning when he did. That was the correct play, I feel. Okay, now it's Robot's time to really give this a good think. He needs to draw into an answer like a strip mine or a city in a bottle, or chaos orb or something. Another viable way would just be to continue the pressure with Robots if possible, and make the other guy spend his cards in hand just to survive, and then you will force him out of library range that way. Okay, recalling for 1. Yeah, okay, recalling the sushi, I bet. Getting rid of a Swords to Plowshares, getting the sushi right back. Okay, I think that's the correct play. He needs to apply pressure. If he doesn't have any other thing to cast, even though it costs him an extra card doing this, he needs to do it like that. Island coming out. Altered Island. I think that's a Plains, actually. Ooh, Mind Twisting the other guy. And we don't have Fork. That could be kind of fun, but we don't have Fork out of Counterburn, so that is a brutal punch in here. Mind Twisting the other guy. That is another way to handle that Library of Alexandria. Now, Counterburn is in a bit of a dilemma here. Will he bolt as a fast effect and risk losing more important cards? No, okay. Getting rid of 3 cards here. What did he lose? Sonic Blast, City of Brass, and a Lightning Bolt. Ah, brutal. Now the sushi will be even harder to handle here. And Counterburn knows there's a sushi on the other guy's hand, but he'll still try to get within library range here, saving up cards one more time, climbing up that hill. But he's on the clock. I mean, the sushi will get down now, likely. And next turn it'll start to do damage again. The recalled sushi. Yeah, here we have it. Staring down Counterburn. Are we within draw range yet? I don't think we are. He lost 3 cards and had to spend 2 Chain Lightnings before that from a hand of 8 cards. So there's likely a turn left. Another draw step before he's within range. Ooh, going down to 8 life here. And there's enough mana on Robot's side to cast Triskelions on this time. Okay, just a sushi though, but still pretty damn brutal. Are we within library range here? Counterburn needs this. Needs to just put his toe within library range, then he can try to cast answers. If he isn't, he needs to answer one of the sushis at least now. No matter what he does, because he only has 8 life and the sushis will kill him. Really? Okay. No answer? Really? No? Okay, there's an answer here. Shatter. I think that's a mistake. He shouldn't have let the other guy get a draw. Yeah, because he could have drawn into a counterspell. There's a counterspell on the Shatter, getting in for 8. Okay, Counterburn took this one. I think slight mistake here. I mean, Robots took this one. Slight mistake here. Counterburn, always, you should always just Shatter immediately in this situation, because, yeah, you don't want to give the other guy another draw, because he might just draw into that counterspell he needs here. We don't know if Robots had it in the pocket or in his hand, but it gave him another chance to get it at least. So sideboarding options here. Likely, I mean, Robots is pretty comfortable in this matchup, even especially this variant where you also have a 2 Abyss main deck and a City in a Bottle main deck. He might take in an extra City in a Bottle, though. It's just so pretty nice against Counterburn against the Ifrits and the Cities of Brass. Maybe a Circle of Protection if he has that in his sideboard. I can't remember. Blue Blast, obviously a good pick. For you are Counterburn, he will take in Red Blast, I think, and he will take out the Blood Moons likely and put in those aforementioned Energy Fluxen. That is the hard counter against robots. So as predicted, even with an active library, robots was able to handle the first round here pretty secure. But yeah, all bets are off now with those Energy Fluxen into UR Counterburn. So let's get ready for round number 2. Counterburn on the play. Let's see if he'll mulligan this time or if he'll keep his hand. Shows his hand here. Ancestral Recall, Mind Twist, Sonic Blast, Volcanic Island, City of Brass, and 2 islands. That's an excellent hand. 2 broken cards immediately. Ancestral Recall and the Mind Twist. The only thing that would make it better would be if he had some fast mana for that Mind Twist. Oh, and Robot is mulliganing here. We'll cut a bit forward here while he shuffles his entire deck. Okay, let's see if Robot keeps this hand. He needs to deliberate on what card to get rid of. There's no way out of it, but it seems like he's keeping the hand and going down to, yeah, only losing a single card. Let's see what he has in hand. It's nice that he shows it here. Mind Twist, Demonic Tutor, 2 Moxen, an Underground Sea, and a Blue Blast. Excellent hand as well. He can actually cast Tutor and Ancestral Recall turn 1 here. I think he should. He needs some cards after that mulligan. Volcanic Island out of UR Counterburn. Likely waiting to cast Ancestral Recall on the other guy's instep. I think he should cast the Ancestral Recall as a response to that Mox. Just in order to get power sync. Oh, Tutor. Risky play here. He didn't cast his Sapphire. I think he should, because the other guy could have actually force spiked it. And that would have been disastrous if he had force spiked that Demonic Tutor. So just a slight little thing again. Cast your Moxen just to make sure. Because I'm willing to bet that he's going for the Ancestral Recall. It's such a perfect hand here, with the Sapphire in the pocket here. But it's just a way more risky sequence. He could force spike this as well. Okay, Ancestral Recall. He could also force spike this. Yep, so drawing here. So he's tapped out. But tutored for the Ancestral, and then, yeah, the other guy doesn't need a tutor, he'll just Ancestral Recall as well. So a complete mirror here. Though Robots is a bit faster with those 2 Moxen. And we know Counterburn has a Mind Twist in his hand. So just waiting to amass enough mana to get the stuff rolling. Has to discard here. Okay. Seems like he has sufficient mana, but had to discard one of the lands. And both decks have access to mana drain and 4 counterspells, so double blue mana up on both sides. The defensives, the shields are up. So this is a bit of a situation where you're trying to see if you can bait the other guy. Okay, Mind Twisting just straight into a double blue mana. Crossing his fingers isn't a counterspell, and there isn't. So taking 3 cards here. 2 islands and a Disintegrate. Now, depending on what the other guy has in hand, that is potentially brutal because it might mana starve him. Okay, he has a City of Brass. Oh, and a Red Mox. Oh my god, do we have a Mind Twist straight back? Yeah, we do. Complete mirror again. Mind Twist for 3, going both ways here. And an Ancestral Recall going both ways. Taking, what did he get here? Oh, we can't see. Okay, yeah, Blue Blast, Strip Mine, and an Underground Sea. Alright, exchanging blows here. Going neck and neck in this second round. Ancestral Recall and Mind Twist has been spent on both sides. Game hangs in the balance. But now it's Robot's turn, the other guy's tapped out. He gets something crucial out here. Maybe a Sushi? Or something. A Nicey would be nice as well, just to tap down the City of Brass. What will we see? Okay, Sushi. The first wave of attackers here. Okay, and on Underground Sea, only one card left on the hand of the robots here after that Mind Twist. Both players having sufficient mana. Do we have an answer against the Sushi? You should play it now before the other guy untaps. What is this? Oh, okay, he took in the Earthquakes from the sideboard. Earthquake for 4. Both players take 4 points of damage and he gets rid of the Sushi. And that's what he needs. I mean, he wants to pressure the other guy. So life total, so it's a 2-for-1 here. In general, you are counter, but oh, Brain Guys are here for 3. Recuperating robots lost cards here. I was just about to say that Counterburn is the beatdown. He needs to kill robots before we get into the late game, because robots will tend to have a higher quality of creatures and less burn spells. There's a bit of glare here. Okay, so yeah, okay, mitigating the situation. These guys just found a table and started recording, which was pretty damn cool. Okay, yeah. And I think it's me. I'm just showing that where the glare is. Okay, thanks guys. Alright. Draw go from Counterburn here. Robot has a library after a Brain Guy, so will he save up for that library? No. Double Factory instead. He's going for the attack here. I suppose the other guy only has 2 cards in hand, so that's why he does it. Ooh, a Psyblast. Bit expensive way to get rid of that, but it makes sense, right? Putting Counterburn down to 12 points of life, but Psyblasting that... yeah, it might have been a bait. I might see a bigger robot here. No, it's an Abyss. Okay. Strong card as well to get rid of the Ifrits, but not that great, because we know there aren't any flying men or any other creatures in the center of Ifrits, and he might have even taken those Ifrits out because he knows the other guy will take Selene bottles in. So those Abyss might be dead draws actually. Okay, activating another factory, trying his luck here, swinging in against you are Counterburn. Do we have another answer from Counterburn, or a robot starts to draw blood here? Seems like there's an answer. Another Psyblast? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so Counterburn down to 10 points of life, but both factories has been removed, and here, that was the bait. So now the Sushi, both Psyblasts has been used. Sushi staring Counterburn down. Oh, that's a time walk. Needs to draw into an answer here. What did he get? Oh, a Shatter. A nice top deck draw here. And then swinging back with the factory. Now it's Counterburn's turn to get some attacks in. Having answered every single threat out of robots. But okay, robots keeps on going. Another Sushi here. One draw out of Counterburn. What did he get? Another Shatter. Okay. And now he gets in for 2. Again. But I mean, he does have 3 or 4 Shatters now in that deck. Oh, another Sushi. Keeps on going here. Can Counterburn keep this up? Can he draw an answer each time? Yeah, he can. He drew a Sonic Blast here. Going down to 8 though, but removing the 3rd Sushi in a row. And getting in with the factory each time. Again, just a neck and neck round, this one. Both players being down to, I mean, in the danger zone here. Just barely hangs in the balance. So I'm walking here. I need to draw into some new threat. Nothing there. Another factory though. That is exactly what he needed. You can't counter that. So he activates the other factory and gets in. Gets in and then he pumps it. Do we have a disenchant or something? With a Source to Plowshares. And he does that in response likely to the other guy pumping, so he only gets 2 points of life. You can do that as a response to the pump. But if he doesn't pump, you have to take the damage. You can't solve the plowshares after that. Anyway, another one factory still alive, untouched by that abyss. Now it's attacking. Okay. No answer out of robots. No blocker either. And remember, the lower robots gets in life, the more dangerous it is, because there's so many burn spells in that Counterburn deck. 12 burn spells. And we also have the earthquakes on top of it, so like 15 or something like that, burn spells. Okay, getting in again. There's the energy flux. Might as well. Doesn't require so much mana himself, so yeah. Putting pressure on the mana base of robots here. I suppose he could pay for his Moxen for the time being. No, he can't. They'll cost 4 mana, so he can't cast anything if he does. You should just tap both Moxen and let them pay for one of them. Giving it a good think though. I think it's the correct play out of Counterburn. He'll lose access to his Sol Ring and his Mox, but he'll still have 5 mana sources. Oh, okay, it's countered though. Yeah, okay. It's one less counterspell against the burn spells, but I suppose it makes sense. It would postpone robots so much. Okay, swinging in again with the factory, no answer. Down to 4 life. Do we have a Side Blast? No. Okay, robots scrambling for an answer against that factory, and he also needs some counter magic against any burn spells. What do we have here? Like a Triskelion maybe. 6 mana. Yep. Coming down here. Now he can't counter though. Only a single Tundra untap. He might have a Blue Blast though. Okay, but the Triskelion will hold the factory back. Stay there as a blocker. Another factory though. So next time it might be able to overwhelm the single blocker. And then he will shoot one of the factories with the Trisk. He can still survive a single turn. Block one factory, shoot the other with the Trisk. Oh, it's a blocking factory as well. Yeah, okay. But robots definitely on the back foot here. Down to 4 points of life. Getting squeezed. Soaring, not really what he need. Yeah, he can't attack with the Trisk. Okay, another draw. Do we have a burn spell? I mean, every turn it will be pretty scary for robots here to see the other guy draw a card. Am I dead yet? Will there be a Side Blast? Will there be something big here? Earthquake for 4. Yeah, we need a counterspell out of robots or it's game here. He only has 4 points of life left. That's game. No counterspell. Okay, so second match, really, really close, but Counterburn edged it out here. So it's a 1-1 in the semi-final match. We're going into the third and deciding round here for which one of these two decks we will see coming up against Skies in the finals. Let's brace for impact and run straight into round number 3. And this time robots will be on the play. Let's see if there are any mulligans here. See his hand. Library and Ancestral Recall on the opening hand. 3 Tundras. Hot damn, that is a brutal opening hand out of robots. Nice for him. We see a bunch of spectators standing around here, chit-chatting away. As said, this is a semi-final, so we will see a lot of people staying at the tournament, even though they've been kicked out, just to, yeah, watch the epic battles. We don't see Counterburn's hand We'll have to guess. In his upkeep, there's an ancestor recall. He does that because the other guy might play something to be able to counter. But I still think he might get a black Wise for his trouble. So again, I think perhaps wiser just to wait and see what the other guy does. You can always play the Ancestral as a response to like a Moxen or something like that. Oh, he obviously does it because he's afraid of Red Blast as well. If the other guy plays a Mountain, he can Red Blast the Ancestral Recall, so it makes sense. Just to get it out of the way immediately. Mox an island out of Counterburn here. Decent start as well. Do we have a library this time? We need some fast mana out of robots, or he'll have to discard, I think. No, just a Tundra. Okay, he wants to be able to counter instead. Okay, he has a Mox, so no need to discard. At his end step, there's a lightning bolt cracking down on the dome of robots here. Badlands coming out. No double blue mana out of Counterburn, so he can't counter yet. There's the library. Yep. Just passing. Turn. Maybe. No, he draws with it immediately. Okay, because he had another Mox in hand. Makes sense. Oh, Psyblast at his instead though. Yeah, that is the route Counterburn has to take here. With an active library. Oh, but there's a strip mine on the library. You can't counter that. Library's gone. Yeah, that actually really changes the mechanics here, because Robot is down to 13 points of life. So he needs to put some pressure on just to draw the other guy's direct damage away from him. Get a sushi out or something. To demand the other guy to make him spend some of that burn on his creatures. Oh, Chain Lightning on robots. It will put him down to 10 points of life. On the other hand, it does feel a bit like a waste to use a counterspell on it, right? Oh, maybe he has a Blue Blast. That might make more sense, actually, if he has that. Oh yeah, I think he did. He had that in his starting hand. That might make sense. No, he actually takes it. Okay. Waiting for a better target, maybe. Maybe to get a robot out, and if the other guy tries to double bolt the robot, he can Blue Blast the second bolt. That's always a feel-bad moment for Counterburn, having spent so much cards on it. Another factory coming out, though. The other robot's down to 10 points of life. And he can start to attack now. He doesn't attack. That's really surprising. 2 factories. The other guy down to 10. He must feel like he needs to keep the mana, because the other guy might have discharge. Perhaps he has an Earthquake in hand and wants the other guy to tap out and then make a big Earthquake. I don't know. The other guy does have a blocking factory, but you could attack with your factory and then pump your own factory with the other factory, and they would have to trade. Choose is not too low. He will have his reasons. Okay, Sushi coming out. At least not a Triskelion, but he does have double blue mana up to counter. So first real threat out of robots in this turn. Psyblast at the end step. Getting rid of that Sushi. But as said, robots must feel, at least it's not my dice taking that punishment. He would have been down to 6. Yeah, now he's tapped out. I think you need to attack with both factories here. Only attacking with one? No. Activating both. Attacking with both. I think that is the correct play. Likely lose 1. To a Disenchant or Swords. Swords to Plowshares. Okay. Getting 2 points of life, doing 2 points of damage with the other factory. That is highly dangerous for robots to get so low in life. in this matchup. Okay, he chooses not to. That makes sense as well. Just Sword to Plowsharing both factories here. And then there's a Chain Lightning. No Blue Blast for you, my friend. You're tapped out. Okay, nicely done by you are Counterburn. Robots down to 7 points of life here. And Counterburn at 20. Healing back up by those Swords to Plowshares. But without any real presence on the board, having lost both factories here. So yeah, he can attack with impunity. Factory gets in for the long climb of taking the other guy down from 20 points of life, putting him down to 18 here. Every draw is crucial for Counterburn here. He needs to get some burn in his hand. Only a City of Brass, it seemed. Another Sushi. Yeah, Roberts does a lot here to make sure that he has a double blue mana up. Okay, Time Walk out of you are Counterburn. Desperately trying to draw into an answer here. He does have a lot of answers in that deck, but didn't really get any, it seems. Okay, so yeah, shifting momentum of the game here. Robots smells blood. Another factory coming out here. Even more pressure. That would be 7 points of damage. One of them will have Summoning Sickness, but he can pump. So yeah, he lets them in. Now the other guy needs to pump. He has one chance to pump. He pumps here. Is there an answer? Otherwise, that's 7 points of damage. No answer. I think he took 8. That's a mistake. No, I don't know. Maybe just 7. Anyway, it was 7 points of damage. You are Counterburn down to 11. No one needs to do 7 points of damage. He can Earthquake for 5. But he will take 7 points of damage himself from the Cities of Brass and the Earthquake. So next turn he won't be able to Earthquake. And but he would get rid of the Sushi, I suppose. Maybe I should Earthquake for 4 if he has one. I don't know. He can't take too much more of this punishment out from robots. Next time it'll be 8 points of damage. Disintegrate. Yeah, Blue blasting the Disintegrate though. Red blasting the Blue Blast. Crucial stuff here. Oh, but Blue blasting the Red Blast. That Red blasted the Blue Blast. So Robots wins this exchange. This is like the crucial moment of the game. But he does have 9 points of life left. They haven't taken 2 points of damage from those Cities of Brass. Robots can do 8. Unless he can play a Triskelion and shoot, I think we'll get another draw out of Robots at least. And yeah, okay. Yeah, attacking for 8 here. Counterburn down to 1. Hail Mary, what do we get? As a Volcanic Island. Okay, and we even had a counterspell on the hand of Robots. 2 counterspells, and a Source and a Disenchant and a Trisk. That's game. Okay, so the semifinals have been decided here. In the final rounds, this version of Robots will go head to head against Skies. The Clash of Titans. We shall see who shall come out on top. Edging out a victory here 2-1 against a Counterburn deck that actually had a pretty good game against Robots the way it was brewed. But as said in the deck text here, I do feel like this matchup slightly favors Robots no matter what you do. And you need, I mean, Robots usually needs Counterburns to take out the deck, and then, yeah, then he might have a chance. Anyway, we see the sideboard options here. He took out his Black Wires, Chain Lightnings, Blood Moons, got in Energy Fluxen, Disintegrates, Earthquakes, yeah, all that stuff. The other guy took out his ices. That's a bit surprising. Those are great against Cities of Brass and Serendipity Freeze. But he might... I mean, he needed room for all the blue blasts and maybe even a city in a bottle. I don't know. Definitely saw blue blasts out of robots in the sideboard, and that makes sense. Yeah, also red blasts out of UR Counterburn. So, hope you enjoyed this semi-final match. We'll be sure to follow the conclusion of this tournament in the finals. It will be control bots coming up against skies. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.